What's up, guys? Josh back here with another pre-market video. It is Monday, May 1st, first trading day of the month. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. We're back here just for a quick update. Want to kind of run through a few names. Going to keep these videos pretty short today. I'm going to fill you in back on here on Weight Watchers. If you can see, this is a pretty wacky chart. We had a big run up on some Oprah sayings, and then we had a big pullback, and then we just had a slow but steady trend higher, which eventually saw close to the $22 level. That's a pretty big move for a stock that was, $10 a couple months ago. So just relatively speaking, this thing's run a lot. This is definitely a name where you can get slipped around and chopped a lot. We had a couple of interesting sessions last night in the commodities. Gold opened up. Gold opened higher. This is the candle for today. Let's pull up to the 5-minute. So we opened higher in gold right here. We had a nice little run and then just an immediate knee-jerk reaction sell-off. So we're kind of just trading around the mean here. We've reverted pretty hardcore back to that level. So let's see if we chop around this pivot point, or we define a new trend, or we go higher, we go lower. But if you can see, if I can extend this to the right, it's testing it right now. It's not a clear break or a clear reversal sign or indicator, in my opinion. If this were to continue selling throughout the day and the pressure picks up, then yeah, I think this could be the next leg down. I'm long gold. I'm hoping that something happens, as silly as that sounds, that spikes the price of gold, sends a new catalyst, hits the tape, see if we get some more action in that regard. Excuse me, recovering from a little cold, guys. So let's pull up the SPYs here. SPYs kind of same deal. We tested the pivot on Friday. We're trading moderately lower. It's basically flat right now. If you pull up the SPX, you can see how we're trading down a little bit. Nothing too fantastic at all. My chart's loading right now. It's a little weird. There you go. So we're slowly, yeah, the selling pressure is not on. It's very low key. Let's pull up one more name, FCell. This is a stock that all of my trader buddies were making a killing in. This is one of those sinister rip $30 reverse split, rip $30 reverse split. It's almost like a dry ships. It had a big gap down day on Friday, tested the $1 low. I'm going to be trying to play this stock around the $1 level. I think if we test the whole number, we can definitely see a good 20-30 cents run. So this is definitely a stock that you could easily have size in as well, just because it's so cheap. So that's definitely something to consider. It's FCEL. Let's pull up my IBTWS, see if there's any movers here this morning with some volume. Doesn't look like it. See, that's above 500K, and this one's above 500K as well. So okay, so relatively thin, easy morning. Nothing really gapping higher, nothing really gapping lower. Markets are kind of flat here. Probably smart to sit on your hands, wait for opportunities to come to you. I wouldn't be chasing things in these markets. The last few days, the trade volume's been down quite significantly, so the markets are not as active. Let the opportunity come to you, though. Sit on your hands. Don't rush anything. Don't push anything. Just let it be natural and come naturally. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be back here at the close to kind of run through some of the names and the issues. If there's any comments or suggestions, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If nothing else, hope you all have a great day and best of luck trading. Take care.
What's up, guys? Josh back here for a market close edition of Technical Analysis Daily. I'm going to run through a couple of quick names, but first let's jump over to the SPYs. Great week for stocks last week. We're pairing off those gains from last week with another nice day up here. We had a clear rejection of this pivot from a few days ago, the low of a couple days ago, 3 days ago to be precise. So we're trading higher. This could be the sign of another range-bound trade, or this could be the uptick to a more bullish trend higher. Let's see. The highs on the SPYs are obviously 240.32. Let's see if we can't pull out some more gains from this one. We've run a lot, though. I can't imagine with all of the news out there this week that there's going to be another test. But hey, we'll see. You never know. That's the beauty of the markets, right? So gold's also had another bad day, rejected that big level that I was keeping track of the last few days. This is not a good sign. I was long gold for the last couple of days. Hoping that we got a nice little pop from this 1270 consolidation. Looks like we have rejected that, and we are heading back into the 1250s. I'm still holding on to a couple contracts in my position. I'm not super eager to let them go yet. I really think that the tension, the world economic tension, I guess you could even say, is really almost to a boiling point. Let's see if we can't get some sort of action higher here in these markets. I would argue that the trend higher via Elliott wave analysis, if you even want to go there, would be broken if we were to trade back into maybe the low or mid 1240s. Let's see if that comes to fruition. In terms of stocks, I'd actually been sitting on my hands for the last couple of weeks. Took a nice little trade today. I'm short in the 503, I believe, 502 level right here. Got a couple thousand shares. I'm hoping for maybe a gap fill, if not just a full-on reversal to this just outlandish move higher from 2 to 12 in a matter of, what, 2 days. $10 in 2 days from a $2 stock, so that's just an incredible move. We've had a number of just ridiculous shakeouts since then, but we cracked that $5 level, which I'd mentioned in a couple of previous videos that I had initially thought that someone was putting in a bid for around the $5 level. Maybe I hit their bid. Maybe there's going to be a huge update tomorrow, another flash, $30 flash, but we'll see. I definitely think the pressure, the buying pressure for this stock is gone. Let me just double check to see how many actual trades it's done today. I bet you it's under 1,000. It's been pretty weak. So let's go over to trades. Let's see, HTGM. Where are we here? HTGM. I can't even find it, so let's pull it up real quick. HTGM, wow, okay, 1.06 thousand shares, so I was almost right. It's just over, it's had 6 more than 1,000 shares, or 1,000 trades, excuse me. So very, very, very low volume in this stock right now. It's only done 375,000 shares. So, I mean, that's just, come on, it's pathetic. It could open you up to a lot of risk to the upside, unfortunately, because if there was a big buyer stepping in, all of those offers are gone and that thing is getting lifted. But obviously I keep a very close track. I'm up pretty early in the morning, so I like to see the first trades that come in. If you guys want to note that down, HTGM, I'll run through that over the next couple of days just so I can kind of see how my performance has been. But one last stock is just Weight Watchers. This thing is just unbelievable. Every day it amazes me. We've talked about this many times. We've had the big Oprah pop and then the sell-off and then just the slowly trending higher day on top of the 15% up day, which is here. And then we had a gap down and then we've just slowly kind of trading higher. Technically, I don't know how this stock has the room to go any higher from here. This is a stock that has a brain and a mind of its own, without a doubt. The 25 level definitely looks like it could be an area, as well as the $30 level, but I mean that's another how many percent away? It's another 8, 10, 15% away from those relative levels. So I'm not expecting that anytime soon. Hope you guys liked the video. Please comment down below if I did any or said anything wrong, or if you'd like to recommend some stocks to cover for the next episode. I will be back here first thing tomorrow morning. It is May 1st at 3:43. Josh Foreman signing off.
Good morning, people. It's Josh back for another pre-market run through of the markets. It is May 2nd, 7:42 a.m. Going to dive right here into a couple of names. Let's start it off with gold. You can see gold is back down to the lows, the recent lows, testing these this level here. There was some news out of North Korea this morning saying how they're going to be fully expanding their nuclear program over the next couple of weeks. I have the article here. North Korea launches salvo rhetoric threatening nuclear tests at any time. This is kind of blowing me away how gold's still kind of falling off, slowly trading lower. I guess that's kind of how it works. It shakes out all the near-term traders and kind of favors the long-term. But let's see. It's green. It's up marginally, if not flat, to say the least. I'm not really expecting much, to be honest. I might even add to my position today. I think the risk-reward profile has changed a little bit, in my opinion. I think that gold needs to be a little higher from here. I guess that could be a bad trading hypothesis, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. The SPYs are doing what they're doing best, trading sideways. We had a nice doji yesterday, nice kind of almost inside day. Guess you really couldn't define it as that though. But we are back here in this 238.5 range and above, 238 to 240 range. Don't expect any sort of crazy movement out of that. I personally don't. We're just marginally flat for in the pre-market right now, in the pre-market trading session. Excuse me, can't speak at all this morning. Still short my position in HTGM. I've got a few thousand shares at the $5 level. Let's see if this thing doesn't continue to dump or has another parabolic move higher and fucks me drastically. That is yet to be determined. If you can see, all these pops in the past have recovered or have come back more than 100%. This one's like 400%. This one's 100%. So this stock has a history of popping and dumping. So let's see where that comes to. See where that goes to. Oh, I almost forgot to bring up crude. Crude is rejected that downward trend line again. We're bouncing right off of that. We had a clear indication that the trend could have been broken yesterday. That's not the case this morning in today's trading session. You can see we're up, we're marginally flat, nothing crazy going on, but we've definitely bounced off that level. That's a clear sign, in my opinion, that the Bulls and the Bears are fighting it out. Bulls maybe have a stronghold today over the Bears. Let's see. What else was I going to cover? Let's pull up. Oh, that's right, AMD. So AMD is the only stock right now in the universe that's down 10% with more than 1 million shares traded. I guess they had an analyst day yesterday. I believe they beat their numbers. The revenues rose 18.3%, but the margin forecast disappointed big time. So I guess investors took this thing down pretty drastically here in the pre-market. It's already traded 1.41 million shares, and for someone who doesn't necessarily understand how much that is, it's not a lot, but it's definitely a lot for this time in the morning at 7:45 a.m. That's usually an amount of volume that you'd see for most stocks throughout the given day. But keep an eye on AMD. There's going to be a lot of volatility in that sucker. That thing has a lot of algos and a lot of programs running in that stock always. So it's best to kind of stay away or at least have a long-term time horizon. I think that's it, guys. If you liked the video, subscribe, like it, comment, see if I did anything wrong. Let me know down below. I would love to start. I'd love to start adding in some recommended stocks from you guys. So keep me in the loop. Have a great Tuesday and best of luck trading, guys. Take care.
People, Josh back here with another market close edition. We've got about 24 minutes to the bell. Want to run through a couple of names. We had some good indications today on where oil will be trading, in my opinion, over the next couple of weeks. We had a clear. Oh, let me zoom out real quick to a single chart. We had a clear rejection of this level here. We've cracked it quite significantly. We've closed below, in effect, which means we are below the March lows. This is a good sign, in my opinion, for the oil bears. I don't necessarily think oil goes on a tear from here on out. We have Donald Trump in the office. Keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot of negotiations with OPEC over the next couple of months, towards the summer months of the year, to kind of restrict supply, and they're going to go through that whole meeting in regards to defining all of these crazy oil parameters. That's why I really don't trade oil. I kind of just I follow it as an indicator for the strength and health of the overall U.S. economy, because America is a gigantic oil company with 50 states. I've said that before. I like to say that often. But if you could see, we've got a clear break of this trend line here, or this pivot point, I guess you could say. We're below the lows of March. Let's see where the next couple of days lead us. My bet is a little lower. Let's jump over to gold. Gold is holding strong. We had that big pivot day breakthrough yesterday. Now we're trading basically flat. We have a nice little doji here on ourselves. What are we up? We're up, a fifth of a percent, not even 0.5%. So we're marginally trading higher. Nothing crazy. Volume-wise, it's been non-existent. Same thing with the SPYs. The SPYs really have not been trading on a lot of volume recently. And when I say volume, I particularly mean trade counts. And that only reflects how many algos or computer programs are running in certain stocks. Some days the SPYs will have had 400,000 individual trades, and for example today it's only had 127,000. So just off those metrics alone, you can kind of get a feel for the fact that maybe a couple of algos or computer trading programs were shut down today. They're not running. Let's pull up the SPYs real quick. I don't know how Interactive Brokers popped up in there. But the SPYs are still holding that pivot from last week. We're trading flat in this range bound like I said we would. Nothing, in my opinion, is in the works to get us higher. It could be one of those good news sell-off, bad news pop kind of deals. It could be a little opposite. I've seen that before. It's definitely a possibility. You know, presumable bad news will send the markets to all-time highs. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. More than likely is not going to be the last. But you could definitely see this clear trend here from the the clear pivot from around the 238 level, just basically to the 239 level. If we even get a close above 239, then it's definitely worth noting. But obviously, the important level to watch for is 240. The actual high being 240.32, if you can see it right there on the screen. Let's jump into a couple of individual stocks. I'm sure you guys all saw AMD today. AMD, quite a fall from grace, if you ask me. This is a very, very reputable stock. Everyone knows who they are, but it could be one of those irrational, exuberant stocks in the sense that of a Tesla or an Apple, where the multiples really just don't make sense. But you have investors willing to bid them higher on the prospects or the future value of the company with regarding whatever sort of chips or graphics cards these companies are putting out. But let's just straight up talk technicals. This was a very, very big move down, a very big move. A lot of bag holders hurt here on this one. I'm sure a lot of guys got caught up here in the chop towards the top. But if we zoom out to more of a 2-hour chart, you can't even really see. So let's jump even farther back. Let's just go to the daily. I mean, we have a clear level at around the $10 mark. The $10 mark, just so everyone knows, is a very psychological level. So always watch out for the $10 mark on any stock. But we're approaching that pretty fast. We've got some clear chop trading around that level. So that, in my opinion, is the next thing to look out for. This could be a good buying opportunity. I know it killed a lot of the option holders today. So it could be a chance to get some cheap options or to sell some premium. Definitely consider that. But with the little bit of time I have left, another notable stock was Angie. They just received that bid. This stock is just pure dog shit, utter and complete dog shit. When I was high frequency trading, there would be a lot of crazy algos running on this one. Weirdly enough, it's a nobody stock, but it attracts so much high frequency order flow, just like Siri. Siri is the biggest, if you ask me. I'll make a video on that perhaps in a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days. That'd be a good topic to discuss. But we got the bid here. Obviously, it's just a bid, so this could be nothing. It could open tomorrow back at 6. So keep your eyes open for it. The next level, obviously, if you're going to be trading this thing, is in the 10.5, 11 area. Obviously, that's a big resistance level going back all the way to, what is this, November of 2015. So keep an eye on it. Markets have been trading flat. Volume is down. So sit on your hands. Don't be pushing it. Don't be going full size. This is not time to push it. Hope you guys liked the video. Please comment down below if I messed up or if there are any stocks you'd like me to go through. But thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great afternoon. Take care. What's up, guys? Josh back here for Pre-Market Edition. It is May 3rd, around 7:40 a.m. And once again, I hate Weight Watchers. Look at this. This fucking stock is unbelievable. We've had this incredible run up from 15 to 20. And then after the bell yesterday, we spiked another 15%. So we're going to be opening around the 24 level around here. Quite a damn gap. That's going to take us over a number of levels, or take us close to this level, I should say. We'll zoom out back on the weekly. You can see 24, 25 is the clear level all the way up to here. Let's see if that can get us above. But shit, this stock has been so hard to kind of feel. It really has a mind of its own, and it can be a little too swingy for myself. But just, Jesus Christ, it's $10 to 24 in a matter of weeks. Excuse me. I do these videos live, so I apologize for the sneeze. But let's jump over to gold real quick. Gold is testing this level once again. It has rejected this pivot line and is trading lower from the doji of yesterday. I think I'm just on the wrong side of this trade since day one. I should be taking this thing short, but I'm still long. Small position, but nonetheless still long. I don't believe the trend up has been broken yet. Maybe if we get a close below 1250, there's an argument to be made that it has or it will be broken. Let's follow up with AMD. AMD just incredible full bar down, 20-something%. Let's see what we're doing pre-market. Pre-market we're down, bounced right off that $10 level looks like, but looks like we're relatively flat. Nothing entirely, nothing crazy happening. Another stock that I follow pretty regularly that I used to trade extensively was CYH.
That had a big day yesterday. I believe that was up almost 20%. I believe it was earnings. Yeah, they reported a narrower loss. Same with Weight Watchers. That's why that stock's up big. But this stock tends to trade range bound, and then once fundamental data is adjusted, it reprices into a different range or a different level. This is what I think is happening now. I'd expect to stay somewhere near the $10 level, a little bit above, a little bit below. I wouldn't stray too far from that level though. It's moved a lot over the last couple of days, and I apologize. I'm fighting off a little cold right now, so my voice is a little iffy. Let's see, JD is just up, straight up. Look at that. This is a Chinese like Amazon. $38 is the level. Looks like we're chilling around 35, which could be a relative top here in the May of 15 area or 14 area, excuse me. But yeah, so that's the video for today. I try to keep it short, trying to just run through a couple of names rather than a whole bunch. Hope you guys liked it. We'll keep you in the loop for the market close today. Let me know if there are any questions. Oh, I almost forgot to cover crude. Excuse me, real quick. Crude has broken this trend further and has rejected this last night and bounced higher. So we're holding this pivot from the lows of March. So this could be a good level to trade around, but keep your eyes on it. Don't be going full size. The markets have been trading on very low volume. So let's see what happens. Thanks, guys. Cheers. What is up, people? It is Josh back here with another pre-market edition, I should say. It is May 4th. It is 7:50 in the morning, and we're going to run through a couple of names real quick. Let's start us off with the SPYs. Let's just get a feel for where we're at in the markets. We are trading relative to that pivot point as of last week, still pretty strong. No clear indication whether or not that's going to be taken above or below this clear trend sideways here now. Volume was an uptick yesterday. We had a little increase in volume as investors scaled in or out of positions based on the Fed announcement at 2. They're keeping rates unchanged. Gold sold off because why do you need gold when money's free? So there is a run on gold right now. A lot of selling right there. I was going to jump into that next. But if we can kind of get a feel for the SPYs, we had a range-bound trade here, then we dumped. We had a new range-bound trade. Now we're back up to the same old style range, maybe a couple percent higher. Let's see what happens. There's some news coming hit the tape today, I believe, with the Fed, and then Trump. I believe his healthcare, something's happening today or maybe this week, and also this weekend is the Le Pen French elections. So that has major implications with currencies and commodities all across the world. So let's jump over to gold. Gold has broken not only this most recent pivot, but it has also broken the second most relative fan. This has been a clear trending, I guess you could say trending indicator over the last couple of months. We've seen higher lows and lower highs. This, in my opinion, confirms the move lower. If we're going to get a move back into the low or the high 220s, the high or low 1220s, that would be indication to me that this is a reversal trade. It's still a little early. I was actually long gold on this day right here. I got out here, avoided the big down day, fortunately, but I was a losing trade. Can't win them all. It's all about timing. It's so hard to time the markets. You have one thought in your mind, and 10,000 other investors have a different thought in their mind. So timing is impossible. It's best to just employ strategies that are time neutral, so they don't necessarily need to be right on the time end. Yesterday I had someone recommend I cover BGFV. This has been a very interesting move, to say the least. Very, very interesting move. So we had a decent little pop on, I believe it was some earnings. And then the following day, we saw 2x the volume on the upside earnings day to the downside. And man, I can't tell you the last time I've seen something like that. Not only that, we gapped. So it was a huge gap the following morning, and just immediate sell-off. We're talking like $3 almost. That's a huge move in a stock that is this cheap. So technically speaking, watch out for the $14 level. It's coming for you right now. Probably test that today. That's clearly a level. Then obviously the 13 and below. But then that's not good in my opinion. When you have a stock that runs on earnings like that, and then the following day it trades 2x the volume to the downside, That's not good. That's not good at all. So the company doesn't have good bones or good finances or fundamentals or something. But I don't know the actual story behind the scenes. All I know is the technical view. And if you want, you could even come down here and yeah, pretty incredible move. Pretty incredible move. This is obviously a longer term trend higher. This is not even a trend. You couldn't consider that one. But I like to have a view of the monthly levels, the weekly levels. If you can see, this has been kind of just trading around this mid-level median range for quite some time. So the 14 levels clear support. So keep an eye out for that. There was one other stock that I was told to cover. Oh, and New York Times. The failing New York Times. The failing New York Times. This is, I have my own opinions about these types of stocks. I think media stocks are dead. And if a large percentage of their operation isn't in online presence, then they're going to die. I just genuinely believe that millennials and the generation after us, they don't necessarily buy into the whole mainstream media. Let's buy newspapers, this or that. I think as a whole, as a generation, we prefer to hear it from the camel's mouth or whatever the word is, the cow's mouth. We don't want some pundit telling us information that they want us to hear. We want to hear the information that we want to hear. And I feel like the New York Times is very rigid in the sense that they are an old conglomerate that is a news organization that's there for profits and money and ratings and not there to give you the right information. But on a technical level, the stock has been moving quite extensively. Doesn't trade a lot of volume. Could be a little choppy. Definitely a little choppy if you ask me. But if we zoom out here on the weekly even, you can kind of see. This almost looks like a Bank of America chart as it broke out after the Donald Trump election. But if you can see here, the 17.5 level has been clear resistance. We're trading above the 15 level, which is held for quite some time now. So that's a good sign in my opinion. This thing's coming off its highs around 53. Man, you got a lot of upside if this thing ticks higher there. I don't think it will. This is back in 1999 and 2000 where everyone bought newspapers. So hope you guys like the video. I'm trying my best to do them every day, every morning, every evening. Please comment down below if you liked, subscribe, do the thing. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate the time. Cheers.
What is up, people? It is Josh back here for another market edition. It is May 4th, about 3:36 p.m., about 24 minutes to the bell. Interesting day. We had the healthcare bill passed, so that is going to be a general positive for the economy, in my opinion. A lot of people online and some analysts have been saying the same thing. I think we see a couple handles higher here over the next couple of trading sessions. This is the 5-minute chart on the SPYs. You can see we've really held this pivot point, or pivot level, I should say, pretty incredibly well. It's obviously a very relevant level. Almost looks like a magnet. Keeps coming right back to that spot. Let's zoom back out here on the daily. We are still trading flat, still in the same range from basically the last week and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 8 trading days. We're staying within that same 1% range. So nothing's new. There's new news hitting the tape every second with Trump. A lot to be coming this weekend with the French elections. I think that has some major market implications on the U.S. side of things, mainly with the currency wars, mainly with the currencies. Not so much with the overall markets here, I don't think. That being said, this is a chart of the euro pairing with the dollar, the U.S. dollar, I should say, just to clarify. We're back into this intermediate range from the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, where we saw a constant, $1.14 to $1.08, that kind of range here, all the way up to $1.18 even. It's interesting that the euro is strong right now. With all the riots going on in France right now. I'm not sure if anyone keeps up with their geopolitics. A lot of restlessness, a lot of tension. I genuinely think that Le Pen is going to take the W. She'll pull off a victory. France will secede. The euro will trade below par value, and we'll be on. It's been an incredible chart. I used to work at a broker dealer back a couple years ago when the euro and more importantly the pound were almost trading 2x to the dollar. Not so much the euro, but the pound it was. and it was just incredible. We're down drastically from that just because of the whole Brexit deal, but all in all, keep an eye out on your currencies. If you trade currencies, maybe pay attention to the election over the weekend. I believe it's on Sunday. Don't quote me on that. We had some big trend reversals the last couple of days, crude being one of them. If you can see, we're really just falling off a cliff here. We tested this level back in mid-March, and we are setting new levels now. If you want, I could even put a pivot down here at this point to kind of highlight that we're trading basically, the same levels as we were back in November of last year. We had a clear bounce off of that here on the daily, if you can kind of see what I'm looking at. I'm talking about this point right here. So crude oil, this technically speaking, it is an ugly chart. Fundamentally speaking, however, I'm not entirely sure what's happening with the reserves and all the crude oil impacts and then the OPEC and all that stuff. Not paying attention, just a technical trader. Just an incredible sell-off over the last couple of days. Crude really wants $45. I mean, it's there now. Let's see if we get a bounce off of that 45 level. It's possible. To be honest, over the last, when crude was trading higher, I'd foreseen higher oil prices just given all of the tension overseas. Clearly, I was wrong. I've been wrong a lot lately. I guess that's the beauty of the markets, right? You only have to be right not even 50% of the time, as long as you keep your losers relatively small. It's all about risk tolerance and keeping your risk small. Not crude. Let's go. Jump over to gold. Gold's doing the same kind of deal. It looks like it's almost trading 1-1 with oil. Obviously, it's not, but it had broken the intermediate fan over the last. What is this here? We're talking about 6 months right now. So the last 6 month trend higher has been broken. We had a test yesterday and a confirmation today, so we are below that level here. And I probably should put in a pivot just to kind of keep track of where things close. To be honest, this is a weird one. This is also another trade that I lost. I'd been long gold in the back in here at this most recent range, I guess you could say. Held it, sold some around the 1270, 1280 level. Actually ended up taking break even on like a fifth of my position. Not too thrilled about that, but that's just the business. You're never going to be 100% right, and when you are, your timing's off. But that's just the nature. You trade long enough and you'll find that out. But lastly, I want to just briefly touch HTGM, which just absolutely embarrassingly fucked me this morning. I was sitting on my computer and I saw this 20,000 share print take HTGM from 473 to 540. I was shitting my pants. I had a few thousand shares short. I watched my couple $1,000 position slowly reverse and go negative a couple $1,000. So I ended up taking the entire position like a duck. Just a few minutes before we had the eventual sell-off into what has been one of the bigger down days for this stock in quite some time. So missed the entire freaking move, guys. I'm embarrassed to say that. I caught this first little mini move down and I'm upset. It is what it is. You can't let your losers get to you, but trading is an emotional thing sometimes, and it's all about psychology. So I was really afraid, and I've seen many stocks pre-market print small blocks and just run. I'm talking run like $20, $30, and I was not looking to wake up to a $60,000 loss. Took about a $900, $980, basically a $1,000 loss. Not thrilled about it. Is what it is. You got some winners, you got some losers. This happens to be a stock that I had traded pretty well in the past. Just wasn't able to be on my A game this morning when the shares came in to the buy side and flip this thing higher. But this is just to raise the point that these low float stocks are super, super, super dangerous. I even had issues getting out of my positions. I had to get Interactive Brokers on the phone to blow me out of the position. So a lot of risk, a lot of upside, a lot of downside. Keep your size small. I was relative. I could have been a little smaller with more comfort, but it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020. Appreciate you guys watching the videos. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Comment down below if you have any suggestions on what I should cover. Otherwise, you will be hearing from me tomorrow morning. I'll be running through the markets pre-market once again. Hope you guys keep up, and thanks for watching. Take care. What is up, people? Josh back here for a pre-market edition. Sorry for the delay.
Was actually on the phone with a potential big-time investment behind the scenes. I'm actually thinking about getting pretty heavily involved in the marijuana industry. Kind of some operations behind the scenes, but that's besides the point. Thanks for being with me. We're going to run through some markets. We're bouncing overall in the markets right now. The SPYs are still trading within that couple percent range. We're flat as of the open. Nothing crazy happening. I think market's still digesting the hawkish Fed and the Donald Trump healthcare plan, as well as the tax care plan that's going to be coming through. We're seeing bouncing all across the markets, actually. Gold's doing the same thing after the last 3 or 4 days of just nosediving. We found some support. We're bouncing, relatively speaking, at the 1230 level. Not surprising. It's from the close of yesterday. Gold and all the hard commodities have been out of favor. So all of the commodity markets in general have been very weak. Hogs had a pretty incredible down day the other day. It was like 6% or something insane. So that was absurd and ridiculous. Crude is as well bouncing. We're getting a big tail there. That's a good reversal sign if you ask me. But the last 5 days have been straight down, so I'm not the one to pick a bottom or catch a falling knife. But it does look good. That is a big wick. That's definitely something a lot of investors like to see when they are making trades. So it's definitely something to keep your eyes on. Let's see what's moving early this morning here. Let me pull up my IB. Let's go to 10%ers. Anything up drastically or down? Doesn't look like it. Nokia is flat. VWR is flat. Something that I would like to note as well, as over the weekend I'm going to be pairing up with one of my trader buddies. Let's call him Slavic Quest. We're going to be running through some microstructure trades, and the other day, this is Sprint, the whole office, and you can kind of see how small the moves are in these stocks. I had a buddy pull out maybe 15, 16 grand just in these stocks, Sprint and FTR, and this plays into the whole microstructure kind of feel of things. So if you can see, it's just 1 cent ranges, 1 cent channels dump, 1 cent channel dump, 1 cent channel dump. So the idea is to get short the offer, and if you know that there's an aggressive buying algorithm, it's very easy to get short that offer and just fade the trade to the downside the entire way. So get short on the offer on one level, get short on the offer on the next level, short on the offer the next level, and so on, so on, so on. And that's how guys can accumulate essentially free rebate positions that are going to dump in the money 10%, or excuse me, 10, 15 cents. That's how you trade efficiently, is by adding liquidity as opposed to removing liquidity. That'll be for a whole different video. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't even know what that means. It's not as complex as it sounds. It's just a matter of providing liquidity to other investors or taking liquidity from other investors. Very simple in that regard. Let's go through our daily I hate HTGM moment. This stock has had its big down day yesterday after shaking me out, losing a couple grand. So no hard feelings. It's another fresh day. It's Friday, first trading week of May. So nothing crazy happening. Markets are flat. Snapchat. Oh, let's talk about Snapchat. Snapchat, man. So there's a lockup on a lot of the shares that the syndicate members of the IPO own. Those aren't locked or aren't available to trade, I believe, for another couple of months. I think it was a 6 or 7 month lockup period. So that's why you can see the range we're trading in from 20 to 23. There's just not a chance in hell that the stock dumps below that bid, which I think was 18 or 17 bucks, whatever it was priced at, is not going below that. So just imagine the 5 or 6 gigantic banks that own the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of shares of this company. They're not going to be selling those shares for a loss. They're going to make sure all their power goes towards, pumping this price higher. So that is definitely a possibility. Let's see if there's anything else moving. Nothing on my radar as of this morning. It's going to be a slow day for me. Haven't been trading that well, so I've been sizing down and scaling back. Whenever you go through a rough period, it's always best to kind of adjust your mentality and your strategy. You don't want to keep going in, losing trades. Something that was interesting that I actually caught on to last night was the euro. The euro is popping and kind of just trading up into this 110 area. The French election obviously is going to have everything to do with this. So if you aren't comfortable with risk, I would maybe stay away from foreign currencies. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope I covered everything that I needed to. If I messed up, please comment down below. If there are any suggestions for tonight's video, please comment down below. Would love to go through some different stocks for you guys later. But thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Josh
out.
What is up, guys? Josh back here for a pre-market run through of some of the movers in the market. It is May 8th, 7:41 a.m. Hope you all had an amazing weekend. We had a lot of action, a lot of news over the weekend that hit the tape. Emmanuel Macron has taken the victory in the French election. He is the centrist globalist who is seen to be good for markets and good for money. We'll see how that plays out. We had a couple of real knee-jerk reactions in the overnight sessions last night in the futures markets. This is turning out to be a real sell the news type of event. Gold and most currencies all traded higher or opened higher, and then began to trade lower. This is crude. I don't know why I'm talking about gold. If you can see here, gold had a significant pop. We're bouncing off of that pivot point from a couple days ago, but we're now trading a little lower, so investors are taking gold down quite a bit. I have a feeling that the markets are seeing the Macron victory as a solid for lower interest rates, and therefore if money is still going to be free, there's not so much a need for gold. So gold near term doesn't necessarily need to be rallying. Let's see where macro short-term environment it heads. I believe more than likely towards the 1220, 1225 area. We'll see how that plays out. There's a lot of news this week coming out in the oil markets. OPEC's meeting, and they're going to be deciding on whether or not to turn certain wells on or off. They're doing the whole, the whole shtick. They're running through the whole motion of the corrupt oil practices. So keep an eye out for that. I believe the announcements come on Tuesday and Thursday at 2. Don't quote me. Double check that. Let's pull the size here for a sec. We're at the highs. Anyone who says we're not is not telling the truth. Stock markets are basically at the all-time highs. We're trading within less than 1%. Not necessarily sure this is going to give us the opportunity to jump above the 240 level. It could. We could definitely get a gap above that and then just an immediate sell-off because the selling pressure has been on since late last night. Pajama traders are out in force, trying to knock some of these asset prices down a bit. Let's see. Let's talk about some crude for a second. I pulled up that chart, didn't really show you. We had a big tail, and then we had the open close above that pivot point. So it's a good sign. It's definitely a reversal candle. Let's see how far that plays out. Let's see how far the momentum takes that to the upside. Don't really expect anything too drastic, to be honest with you, though. Stock in the news this morning was Kate. Kate Spade has had a tender offer out there, willing to get bought out. I'm not entirely sure by which company. I believe it was, don't know actually. So there are rumors that Kate Spade is going to get bought out, so we're popping here in the pre-market. It seems like that's the only real mover this morning. It seems like for the most part, equity prices are kind of hanging out, not really expecting much or moving much, to say the least. There's only been 224 trades in the SPYs thus far. Still a little early, but nonetheless, it's a very small amount of liquidity. All in all, I think this week plays out to be an interesting one. We'll see how U.S. investors play or trade the French elections as well as a couple of Fed announcements and OPEC meetings this week. So a lot of fundamental data, a lot of fundamental economics that will be hitting tape, I believe, midweek around Wednesday, Thursday. Let's see if liquidity ramps up, or let's see if investors kind of stay where they're at and wait for the next sort of slew of news releases to get us above that 240 level in the SPYs. Really not entirely sure. I did not. I also want to say that I did not make a video over the weekend. I was doing a lot of work on a few trading programs that I'm making right now, so I apologize. I usually will go through and try to do a weekend edition video. I just happen to have gotten a little busy. This week, however, though, I will be coming out and showing you guys my P&L for the last couple of years. A lot of people have been hitting me up saying I'm fake, I'm a trader, I don't show my P&L, I just talk about stocks. So I'm going to prove a lot of the haters wrong. Sometime this week, we'll be coming out with a video like that. So stay tuned. Appreciate you guys watching. If there's anything I missed, comment down below. If there's any suggestions for stocks to recommend, please comment them down below, and I will jump on them for the aftermarket afternoon edition of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Take care.
What is going on, guys? It is Josh back with JF Trading. Another interesting day in the market's going to run you through our post-market edition for today. This is Apple. It looks a little gross right now. It's pretty hard to understand. I'm going to walk you through this trade right now. I talked about Apple previously, about how it was coming up on a couple of Fibonacci retracement levels. We cracked that pretty significantly with some volume today. So I'm here to discuss that in length as well as a couple other names, so stick with me. So here is the chart of the daily chart of Apple going back to last year. If you can look, you can see a couple of different things. You can see this dotted red or this dashed red line, and then there's also a dashed blue line in here. Let's start with the red line. So why don't you think of the red line as a macro trend line and the blue line as a micro trend line? So if you zoom out on the weekly chart, you can see how this dashed red line is going. It's coming from the bottom of the lows in, what is this? This is 2008, 2009, all the way up to the highs of 2015, and then again down to the lows of 2016. So this is what we're going to use to project our Apple movement higher. So if you can see, the red macro trend line has had a number of levels coincide with some of these smaller trending Fibonacci retracement levels. This is how you use Fibonacci anything. You always want to use multiple time frames, and you always want to look for levels that identify as crossover. So if we can zoom out of the macro picture of Apple going back to 1998 and zoom into the 10-year daily view, this is obviously up to 2012, so not 10 years, so about 5 years, excuse me. So if we zoom in, we can really see that today was the first day that we cracked this 161.8 on the micro and then the 50% retracement on the macro. So what that means is the stock is now trading higher than 50% of the move it took to get from the lows of, what were we talking about? The lows of 2008 to the highs of 2015 to the lows of 2016. We are now trading half of that move. Half of that move has been made up from the lows of 2016 to the highs of where we're at right now. This is an all-time high for Apple. And this is definitely one of the stocks that's getting the most noise on the street today, without a question. A lot of money being made in Apple. It's trading on some pretty significant volume, which is a phenomenal sign considering the SPYs are relatively flat and trading on barely any volume. And I mean barely any volume. The individual trade amounts are down drastically. Algos are shut off. HFTs are not trading. They're all sitting on their hands. Liquidity is very, very low, and it's not a good time to be trading full size. It's just not that type of environment. We're very range bound, and it's going to take a lot for us to get out of that range. And to be honest, I'd expected a little bit more volatility given the French elections. Luckily, Macron won, and the VIX is now sitting below 10, if you guys can believe that. Go take a look at that chart. I'll just pull that up for shits and giggles. This is the first time in a while we're trading below 10. I'm not even sure the exact number, but it's been, it's been 10 years. We're trading at basically a 10-year low, so that's pretty incredible. So let's pull up a chart of the SPYs. This is the monthly. Let's zoom out to the daily. As you can see, we're bouncing here off this pivot. This is the low for the day that I put this pivot here on the previous day. So we're trading within that next, 0.75% to 1% range. Within a 1% range of the highs. So we're really just in such an incredibly narrow range. And this speaks volumes. Like, there's a reason that we're in this range. There's a reason that there aren't a lot of people buying and aren't a lot of people selling. And that's another issue to get into all of its own. That's something that revolves around, geopolitical issues and macroeconomic risk. So there's going to be some sort of catalyst that's going to either take the markets higher, or we're going to trade lower again, and we're going to head back down into the 230s, maybe even the 220s. We'll see. That'd be a drastic pullback. I don't necessarily think we just continue to go straight up. Warren Buffett was on TV today, so I guess he thinks we do. So take that for what you will. I'm not saying Warren Buffett's a dumbass, but he did make 98% of his money buying real estate. So to misconstrue him as a stock whiz, which he is, but it is a little unfounded in my opinion, considering he made the most of his wealth when he was in his 60s in real estate. Nonetheless, legendary investor, epic. I am not shitting on Warren Buffett at all. I'm just puny little Josh, JF trading on my own. So I've got nothing to say at all. But people do kind of take his word, as if it was the Bible, as if all the traders were evangelicals voting for Trump in this election. Just take it with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying. So we just took a look at the view of the SPYs. Let's pull up gold real quick. Gold's having a decent day. We are off the lows. We are bouncing. But funny enough, look at that. We're trading below that pivot from a few days ago. Excuse that notification. Pretty popular online. So if you can see, we're testing this level at the close. We'll see if we get above it. That'll be a big signal on whether the bulls have taken over or if the bears will continue to sell gold. I personally think we see 1200 again. I think this level down here is an appropriate level for gold, considering the stability that's now in the French election, or that has won the French election, I should say. So there is certain certainty that free money will continue and cheap gold will continue to fall as well. So we'll see how that goes. There was some OPEC news with the oil markets today. Those have been bouncing. My previous video, I discussed how this was a big wick down, and I thought this could be a good reversal candle. I was right near term. Excuse me. Let's see if we have some follow through tomorrow and this afternoon session, even though oil is closed. But we are trading above the lows. It's obviously a dead cat bounce. You don't really want to catch a falling knife, so it's best to kind of stay on the sidelines. Appreciate you guys watching the video. A little bit lengthy today. I apologize. If I did anything wrong, please comment down below. If there are any stocks you'd like me to cover, I really would like you guys to recommend them below. Would love to cover them. If nothing else, best of luck trading, guys. Thanks for watching. I will be here with you tomorrow morning at around 8 o'clock. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Build the wall.
What is up, guys? It is Josh back with a pre-market edition of JF Trading. Hope all is well. This is the daily 1-minute chart on the SPYs. As you can see, we're at the highs. We are just hanging out here on the footsteps door, right here at the stock market highs. Let's see what kind of trading action we get today in the markets. The last couple of weeks have been very, very, very low volume. And low volume, I mean low trading volume, meaning that there's just aren't a lot of people trading. A lot of the HFTs and the algos are sitting on the sides. So if you can kind of see, this is where we're at right now in the overall markets. I'm trying to get you a good view because this volume profile kind of screws up the perception of the charts itself. But I'm going to zoom out of that. I had a couple of people recommend a few stocks overnight, so I'm going to dive into those. First, it was MZOR. Now, this stock is quite the mover. It's had a clear range from around the 20 to 26 level. Traded there briefly for a few months last year. And now we are just parabolic. We are not necessarily parabolic. We are just straight up, and the stock's running, and it has no interest in stopping. It just cracked this high of 37.40, 37.50 yesterday. So technically speaking, we're trading in a new range now. So you could even put a pivot there. It's interesting to see stocks like these robotics companies really start to take off. I think it's only a matter of time before they are really, really in favor on the street as a whole. Rather than just fringe names that, pajama traders buy up. But as you can see, I mean, the 50% inflection point is obviously at the $26 level. Could be even a little below, or you could argue that it's around the 24.5 level. This stock's run a lot. I really have nothing else to say other than you should probably take some profits. This thing is not going to continue running like this. If it does, it'll be I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's one of those silly names where if you were an institutional investor and you really wanted to invest in this stock and it ran like this, you'd be upset because you don't want to buy these inflated multiples or prices. It's not worth, it defeats the purpose. So that was MZOR. I had someone recommend Kite as well, Kite Pharma. It's funny, all of you guys online, you all trade the same kind of stocks. You have to realize that a lot of people realize that the retail investors are trading these insane stocks with low floats, and they send them up or send them down in the morning. They make it really hard for retail investors to get out. Excuse me, to kill your positions. But this is another one. I mean, just look how variable the price has been over the last couple of years. This thing has had a hard time finding a true foothold in terms of asset pricing. That leads me to believe that there are a lot of mixed feelings about this stock. A lot of people like it higher, a lot of people like it lower. Yesterday was a big down day. But we traded down pre-market. Then we had a couple of big selling off tails in the regular session, and then we're just trading flat as of the open right now. This is a stock to definitely be careful of in regards to a technical level. You could argue that the gap to fill is definitely one of them around the $63 level, and then even at the tail of this second day up, which is always a good sign in my opinion, when there's a lot of price variability on the second move higher. So the low of that day could be a decent support level to identify. So you can keep an eye on that. That's around $67 flat. So that's an interesting level. Last but not least, I had someone recommend PanW. PanW has, and obviously it's Palo Alto. This is obviously one of the more favorite names in the market. I used to trade this very extensively when I was a full-time professional trader. But we are trading at towards the lows, really, of this inflated range we've been at since the beginning of January 2015. Investors have slowly brought the stock price down, and that could be for a number of reasons. It could be for missing earnings. It could be for lack of management or leadership. There's so many reasons why a stock trades higher or trades lower. It's almost sometimes hard to identify why. But we can see how we've been having this slowly trending down wedge. We're kind of getting some buying pressure here, so this is a decent sign in my opinion. I like to see a certain leg up crack a significant level. That is the 50% inflection point of that move. So definitely a good move in Palo Alto. Keep an eye on it. I'm not sure how much momentum this thing has. The volume's been down quite a bit. Hasn't been trading that much volume, so that's always a cause for concern. Overall, though, I think the markets are going to be trading flat for a little while. We're really just waiting on some news and some announcements out of the world to really, determine whether or not the stock market deserves to be higher or deserves to be lower. So this is crude. This is the daily chart on crude. Crude's also bouncing a little bit here. We're gapping up for a second day. So let's see where we head. Definitely an idea to keep small size. Do not be going too big. The SPYs have been trading on very light volume. So there's just not a lot of action. So why don't we all be voyeurs and sit on the sidelines and just wait for the next trigger to enter a trade, and that way we have some certainty with our risk reward. Appreciate you guys watching. I hope I covered everything. If I messed anything up, please comment down below. Any suggestions, also please comment down below. Would love to run through some stocks and help you guys out with some analysis. Thanks for watching, guys.